here with the discussion with Jose Reyes. Normally, when we do these things, I do an introduction of my guest, but I kind of feel like after that, I don't know that I need to tell this audience who you are, Jose. You know what? That reminds me, so we're going to go off the script right away. First question. What, I guess that chant, that ole, 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 that I thought of from soccer and Mets fans taking it and turning it into the Jose song and chant. First of all, what does it feel like to have 50,000 people, 40,000 people chanting that? And how do you feel today when it seems like there's other Jose chants and other things that have kind of spun off it, but I as far as I know, you were the original Jose chant.
Yes. You know, I know some other Jose do it, but it's not the same.
Not the same.
So every time I hear that in the stadium, so that made me feel as a player to do more for my team and for you fans. So thank you.
You and I were talking a few days ago, and this is an audience of Mets fans who know an awful lot about you and your career, but I thought it'd be fun if we could talk about some things and some stories that maybe people haven't heard as much about. So one is, clearly everybody knows you, David Wright, coming up, young Mets together, but what was the relationship like with David Wright, and especially in the early days as you were sort of these young kings of New York?
You know, I couldn't be my brother for another mother, you know, so we was together like in international league, but I always went 1 year ahead of him. I got to the big league in 2003, he come in 2004, but you know, our relationship is like a brother, you know, so I love David, and you know, when I see him retire, so you know, I'm crying everything, so we give it hope each other, and the most important thing between me and him was that we always have each other back, you know, so that's one day, I love you wherever you are, man.
Who was a mentor to you early in your career, whether that was in the minor leagues, back in the Dominican Republic? You know, oftentimes I talk to players, managers, and to have the success and get where you've gotten, there were people who were a big influence early on.
Some guy, his name is Juan Lopez, he's Puerto Rican. You know, he was the guy like, let me make a quick story. My first year when I fly into Kingsport, so you know, I never been to the United States, I don't know how to speak in English, and you know, it was kind of hard for me, and after I came here, that year, I don't have social security number, so I don't earn any money.
So you can't even get paid?
Because, you know, when I come here, I throw words on purpose, the immigration give me. Yeah. I don't even know. You know, I throw in the garbage, so first time for me.
How old are you? How old are you at this point?
17.
So you're 17 years old. You don't speak the language. They put you down in Kingsport, and you throw out your social security.
And you know, my friend week, and they don't blame me at all. They said, you know, I was still a little bit younger. They said, we're gonna keep you working for like 1 week. And after I started playing every day, the ball hit me over here.
So the ball hit you in the face?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of, one of my teeth almost fall down and stuff. So I don't have no money to get food. So, and that guy, Juan Lopez, you know, he always, like every 2 weeks, give me some money. So I really appreciate that from him. So wherever you are, Lopez, Puerto Rico, I love you, though.
I think it's so interesting and important to hear the stories also about, I know it's improving in the minor leagues, but the conditions for minor leaguers, you know, a lot of us see Major League Baseball, and especially now we see the salaries and think about that, but those years in the minor leagues when, yeah, you don't have enough money for food, or for, you know, you get hit in the face, and, you know, who's taking care of you? How difficult was it in the minor leagues, and did you always know that you were good enough to be a Major League Baseball player?
You know, I don't want to say it was difficult because, you know, I play baseball, you know, I'm a baseball player, so, you know, I love that. Coming from the Dominican to the United States to play baseball, you know, I don't complain at all. And, you know, after my first year, when the men know that I have a very good talent, and they put me on the list like #1 prospect in the organization, you know, from the beginning, I already know that I'm going to make it to the big league because, you know, yes, the way that that I work and stuff, I know at some point I'm gonna be in the big league. And I work hard a lot. I'm retired the past, my last year was 2018, and I'm still working now every day. So, I got a passion for that. So, and, I always know I'm gonna be in the big league. I always know. So.
Always knew you were going to be in the big league. I think that
You have to think that way, as a baseball player. So, you have to think like, at one point you want to make it. You have to be positive.
I think that's important no matter what you're doing in life, that sense of belief. If you want something to happen, you give yourself that best chance of success if you have that belief. It's really important.
Yes.
Okay, totally different question. Ready? What does it feel like to hit a triple? You were Mr. Triple, and I don't know if there was a more exciting play in all of baseball than a Jose Reyes triple.
Wow. For me as a baseball player, I don't hit that many homers. But, when I hit a homer, I kind of enjoy it. But not more than when I hit the triple. To see like the excitement, the stadium, the energy that the fan bring all those years when I hit a triple. I always say before the game, it's no matter where I hit the ball. If I hit the ball in the gap, I want to be in third base. It's not because I want to be in third base. I know, like I say, in the first inning, I hit a triple. It's possible that we're going to score that run. It's a very good chance that we're going to score. I just want to put myself in great position to the guy behind me. They can contribute too.
I know. I think Mets announcers called it this. I know. I always thought of this way. When you played, there was something that we thought of as a Reyes run. And a Reyes run was you were on first base, whether you walked, whether you got a hit, whatever. You're on first base. You steal second. Somehow, ground ball, something gets you over to third, and then you're in on a fly, a sac fly or something like that. Without, you got to first, and then there's nothing else, and suddenly it's a Reyes run that has been generated. And I think of you with the stolen bases and wonder, with today's games and today's rules, bigger bases, they can't throw over more than a couple of times. How many bases would you steal in a season with today's rules?
Over 100 for sure. Over 100, yes, for sure. At least 100.
Because, they're fun, the rules, but it does feel like, that you would crush that.
Big time.
How, you mentioned, you even said, coming from the Dominican Republic, and obviously with Juan Soto out there, it's top of mind for Mets fans, a Dominican player. What was it like playing in New York, in New York City, in Queens? What was it like being a player from the Dominican Republic playing in New York, where there is such a big Dominican community, versus, let's say, playing in other places?
New York, If you don't play New York, it's kind of like, So, not too many. I see a lot of superstars who come here and play in New York, and they don't do that good. The pressure here is another level because they want the team to win. I understand as a player for me and for them it was different because we're coming up from the system, from the Met system. So
you were homegrown. Is the difference you think homegrown than someone else coming in?
Yes, I told you I see a lot of free agent superstars to come here in New York, and his career is over here. Yes, I see a lot of people. I see Morgan. I see some other people. Not everybody can handle the pressure here in New York. So, Soto, come to the Met, please. We want to.
They should, Steve Cohen should, make you part of the recruiting team. Get him to come here. The 2024 Mets were a really, really fun team and a really fun story. And I've had a lot of Mets fans who said to me, this was one of, if not the 2024 team, one of their favorite Mets teams of all time. It was a really fun team. And when I think of fun Mets teams that I've loved, another team that came to mind for me was actually the 2005 Mets.
Or 2006.
2006, and here's the reason. 2006, look, I was there in the stands, Andy Chavez, I'm sure you guys were going to win. Game 7, you were there too. So, yeah, we all get that. But there's a difference with a season when you have the expectations and you think the team is maybe the best in baseball and you think they can win the World Series. And that was the 2006 team. I thought that team would win the World Series. 2005, you guys were more on the way up. I thought it was the building and the beginning of something. So I just was curious how you felt that 2005 team that was on the way up versus 2006 and all the expectations.
You know, kind of 2005, 2016, they were totally different team. You know, we got different players in 2006 there was in 2005. But like you said, you know, 2005 like teach us to the team that we created in 2006. So, you know, kind of disappointed. Like 2006, we think we're gonna win at all. You know, but in baseball, you know, you never know. So it's something that you say, oh, this team gonna win at all. Maybe that team finished last of that division that year. You know, baseball is crazy. You know, but you know that was kind of my best year in baseball, 2006. So I love it.
So 2006, when you think of that year, what's a memory that sticks out for 2006?
We still think about it. So like how we lose, man, how we lose. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, baseball is crazy. Nobody thinks that St. Louis is gonna end up with the World Series that year.
I think they had 83 wins. They were a wild card team.
Yeah.
It absolutely seemed like the Mets were the better team,
Yeah.
and then that happened.
You know, we in 2024 and people still, what happened in 2006? People still.
So your most fun year with the Mets was 2006. What was the toughest year with the Mets?
My tough year, I'm gonna say was 2004 because you know that year I started bad because they changed me to be a second baseman. So when they started Kazuma Sweet from Japan, you know.
Right,
After move to second base, and, you know, in that year I only played like 50 games, like 55 games. I had a lot of injury and stuff. You know, I think that was my, you know, that year I don't even want.
So that was the toughest, all right. How, you know, from a player mindset, for somebody who accomplished as much as you did, you know, we hear about players who feel like their legacy, their resume was not complete because they did not win the World Series. How do you feel when you look back on your career? You achieved so much, you were an outstanding player, but, you know, and beloved clearly by Mets fans, but you see the 1986 team and the reunions and all of that. How does it feel that it never did come to the ring?
You know, you don't feel that good, you know, because as a kid, growing up, I mean, you think about it to be the World Series and win the World Series. You know, but not everybody had the same opportunity, you know, to go. It's kind of disappointing with so many great teams that we have through the year, and we wasn't able to make it, you know, it's kind of disappointing, you know. But like I said, you know, it's no matter how great the team has, if you don't make it, you don't make it. So, you know, I'm kind of disappointed that way that I never win a ring, but, you know. So my other stuff, just I feel very happy about it.
When, yeah, obviously you were the Mets, you had, you know, one of the segments that I think fans loved when you were yes, Professor Reyes.
My favorite.
I was wondering how you felt about that. You know, for those, there were the Professor Reyes, where Jose would teach us some Spanish lessons on the scoreboard. It was such a huge hit with the fans, and so was curious how did that come to be, and the Professor Reyes segments, and how did you feel about that? People loved it.
I know, you know, they told me in training, like, you know, that they had a session for me to teach the fan how to speak Spanish. So, you know, I said, you know, whatever made the fan happy, you know, I'm gonna do it, and people love that, you know. So it's still, like I said, we in 2004, people are still talking about Professor Reyes, so you know, that was very nice,
Another thing that I remember, and I think back with you, that at least to my memory, you were one of the first ones to do this, is you were someone who had a special handshake for your teammates. And it seems like every team has them these days, and they do that together. But
ahead of time, you know. They don't like it before, you know. Some other teams they don't like it, but you know now everybody doing it. So I mean, you know.
That is actually so true. There was this whole narrative back then of, you know, whether it was, you know, did it insult a team like the Marlins, and did they play harder against the Mets because you did a special handshake? And now it's like everybody does special handshakes, and players are throwing bats, you know, 40 feet in the air after they hit a home run. But what was the thought process? How did that come about? Like, how did you come up with the special handshakes with your different teammates?
Like before the game, you know, I was kind of the guy who get to the ballpark like before everybody, kind of, you know, thinking about a handshake with everybody in my team, basically. So you know, just happened quick in 2 seconds. So I think it's something and said, you know, I got this for you. Let's do it. So everybody was open to do it. So that was nice.
When I think of those teams, and yeah, the handshakes, all that, but you mentioned 2006, some of those players. Who, you know, if I give you a player, like tell me what you think when I think of it. So if I think of those teams, Cliff Floyd, what comes to mind when I say Cliff Floyd?
Unbelievable human being, you know, very great teammate, you know. He was always open to do whatever to get the ball club win again. You know, I know he have a lot of injury too, you know, but he's a very good human being.
About Carlos Delgado.
You know, Ricardo, when he comes to the bedroom, you know, Ricardo kind of a little bit serious, you know. I don't think that he's gonna be ended up to do some handshake with me, you know. Ricardo is one of my best friends now, so you know, he's very good people too, very good guy.
So it started off very serious, but ultimately
yes.
you cracked him, you got through. How about Carlos Beltran?
Carlos, nice, you know, a little bit more quiet, you know, but still, Carlos is one of my best friends too, so, you know, I get along with everybody, you know, I got a very unique relationship with Carlos.
So you can see and you know how much Mets fans loved you. What was the thought process? What happens when you become the free agent and you leave the Mets and you end up with the Marlins?
First of all, you know, I wait for the last moment, waiting for the man to offer. You know, so and I had a contract with the money in the table, you know, and they say, you know, if you don't decide, we're gonna take that money away from the table. So and they never say, oh, we want you back. You know, they never offer anything. So you know, got a job to do. So and the money had a contract there, I had to take it. You know, so well, I want to stay in New York, but, you know, I don't want to leave, but part of the business.
Part of the business, yeah. And then one of the things, obviously, you then, what does it feel like when you had been, you know, the fan favorite with New York, you go to Miami, and then suddenly, with the way things go down there, you're being traded to Toronto. And what's it like to feel like to get traded?
I signed in Miami for 6 years, and then after the 3rd year, you know, I get traded to Toronto, to new country. So you know, other way when I get traded, I was on vacation in Dubai.
You're on vacation
in Dubai. I don't even know. Yeah. You know.
How did you find out? Did your agent call you?
Yeah, my agent was calling me. Yeah, I got a lot of missing call there because a little bit different time there in Dubai. And you know, I call my agent and say, oh, you got traded. What? The owner of Miami, he was talking about, like, you know, buy a house here in Miami, so you're going to be here for a long time. And then after 1 year, I went on to Toronto, another country. That was crazy. I'm so quick.
So a couple other questions that you and I talked about a few days ago, and you know, for your perspective on things. One was famously that I think a lot of Mets fans were proud that you won the batting title. And it's an important milestone for the franchise. So Johan Santana, no hitter, Jose Reyes, batting title, but the way the season ends, the last game of the season, you come up, you get the one at bat, bunt base hit, and then I think it's a 337 batting average. And then after that, you're kind of pulled from the game, sit out the rest, win the batting title off over Ryan Braun that season. And there was, as you certainly are, you and I talked about, there was a bit of a backlash of people who were critical at the time, who thought somehow, I guess, maybe sportsmanship or fair play, you're obligated somehow to have all the at-bats in that one game when we're talking about, I know this is editorializing on my part, but it's a 6-month season, it's 162 games, and you've had all those at bats, and here there was this negative tone to something that was such a positive thing. So I wanted you to be able to talk about the thought process there and what went into you sitting and the decision there and how that all happened.
The day before, me and Ted Collins, he came to me and he said, "What do you want to do tomorrow? So you want to play?" I said, "Yeah, I want to play, And we decided I'm going to take one at bat and, he's going to take me out of the game. It wasn't like I get in fair pitch and say, I'm out of the game. No, we already talked the day before. It's going to be one at bat. I know why a lot of people say because I was a free agent that year and they want to see me play at least the whole game, but that was something that me and TC, we were talking about it the day before, so, I feel good about it because, I'm the first baseball player for the organization to win a batting title. I do it for the organization. So, by the way, the guy who was behind me, Brown, that year, he was posted on a steroid. So, very good discipline.
I was always thinking, I never understood the negativity there when the body of work of winning a batting title is 6 months and 162 games. And I understand, but that always was kind of crazy to me. But all right, what did it feel like? Obviously, the Mets' home right now is Citi Field, but what was it like specifically to play at Shea Stadium? And how did it feel the end of Shea Stadium?
I feel Citi Field is nice, beautiful and stuff, but it's nothing better to play in Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium is I like Shea so much. So,
I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but for me, yeah, there's no doubt. Citi Field is just a beautiful ballpark. It's fantastic. Beautiful ballpark. They did a great job. But back to that 2006 season, and if anybody was there for that series against the Cardinals, it really was it felt like the stadium was shaking. Like you could feel Shea. Maybe it wasn't built as tall, I don't know. But it felt like it shook. When you were there, like you felt vibration. With the fans. So something else we talked about that wanted you to be able to share your point of view on your career. Obviously, you leave the Mets, and we talked about it's Miami, it's Toronto, and you end up in Colorado, and you get suspended, and you then get cut by Colorado, and there you are. And the Mets, we can be critical at times of the Mets and ownership and different things that have happened through the years, but the Mets reach out at that point to you and give you an opportunity to come back to the Mets. What did that feel like? What was your mindset? What were you going through at that time?
By that time, a lot of stuff was happening, and, I don't even know what my future was by that time, and, Sandy was the GM, and he reached out to my agent and said, you're very good chance that we bring Reyes back, but he got to play third base, I say it's not even better situation for me than come back home and play for the Mets again and finish my career when everything started. So I feel very very happy about it that I came home. The last of my trip here and finished here in New York. Nothing else. So.
When I think about the different managers that you played for, what was, how are they different, and what was, I don't know if you can say who was your favorite manager, but who did you love playing for, and why?
As a baseball player, you need to love to play for any manager because you got a job to do, So I don't want to say that I got one favorite because I get along very good with every manager that I ever played. So I'm an easy guy, So I just like to enjoy the game the most that I can, So.
And since you've been, I know you and I talked a little bit that since you've been retired, one other thing that maybe some Mets fans don't associate with you as much, but you also have kind of started a career in the music world. What?
It's not a career, I think it's a hobby.
A hobby in the music world. What made you want to have a hobby in the music world? What is it that you're doing these days that post baseball that you enjoy in music?
I've been doing music for a long time now. So even my favorite music video was 2011. I think I do during the season. So something that I never do because I always I do before. Like one song every year after the season, but I don't wanna, when I was playing, I don't wanna, be in the music business and baseball at the same time. But like I said, it's my hobby, I still do music now for fun, I got my studio in the house and I don't play golf, you don't wanna see me in the, so I like music though, it's my hobby, everybody has a hobby, music is my hobby, my passion, I like it.
So you were Candelita before. What did you think of all that? As somebody who was obviously an exciting player and played with flair, and a good defensive player, and also someone, as you said, who made a music video while you were a player, all that. To see what Jose Iglesias did and brought to this Mets team in 2024 with OMG, what did you think of that?
I mean, did he sign yet? They need to sign him back. I mean, I feel happy for him, because he even started the year in the minor league and bring all that positive energy here in New York. You see everybody with the "Oh my God" sign. That's good to see.
Yeah, really.
Sign the guy. Sign it.
Really fun. So I'm going to open it up in a moment. I just want to give for everybody else, if you want to line up, I'm sure you all have Jose Reyes questions out there. But with Steve and Alex Cohen now owning the Mets and where you saw the 2024 Mets, how do you feel as a former player about the direction and the future of the New York Mets?
Well, I mean, nobody expected the Mets last year to get what they almost made it to the World Series. Nobody expected that. So that's good to see. I think the future, and I think they got a very good chance to bring Soto to New York, Soto to the Mets. So I'm sure they're going to congratulations. So no complaint there.
Yeah, it seems like they are, we'll find out. We'll find out soon. Yeah, very soon. I think the next. So you don't have any inside information on that.
I wish.
All right, let's take some questions. Are there fans? Are we passing mics over there? Yeah, yep.
Hey, Jose. So, one of my favorite players I've ever seen. Remember your days as a Met player. So, My question to you is, obviously there's rumors all over the place that in the 2025 season, David Wright's number is going to be retired. What are your thoughts on that?
Unbelievable for them, he deserves it, he's the captain of the New York Mets, unbelievable human being, so all the best for him, very nice.
Yeah, I said this to you before, but like, what's the story? Is there something about David Wright that maybe we don't know? Like, is he, was he a practical joker? Was he seemed so serious in front of
you? No, he was good, he was nice and loose. Yeah, so, yeah. So I got some score of him, but I can,
sorry. Okay, who's next?
Jose.
Yes.
Two things. One, I'm in my late 40s. I've been around a while, I was too young to enjoy the 86 Mets. But you ignited the Met fan base like no other player. I'm not kidding. No disrespect to David Wright.
Thank you.
Jose, the electricity you brought in there, then you go, oh, just going nuts. But Jose, the biggest thing sorry, I'm a little nervous with you. I don't know why.
Don't be nervous.
When I was at David Wright's last game, and you were the first person there for him, man, I couldn't stop crying, man. I'll admit that up here. That was a special moment, man, and I just want to thank you. You were awesome as a man.
Yeah. Thank you.
That had to be hard with David because he was still so young and the back injuries. And what was that like when you saw him? Even whether you were when you watched him, even let's say that you weren't with the team yet. Again, you came back in 2016. So it's 2015 is when they went to the World Series. But just even watching from afar, when you saw him and you knew how much he was struggling with that back pain, to come back and have like a moment still that year.
Yeah, when he retired, I think I was the fair guy that he told you that he was gonna retire, maybe after his family. So he bring me out outside the clubhouse and told me that's why when I started crying, he said, man, whatever is best for you and for your family, though, do it, so I'm gonna support you 100%.
Yeah, you gotta be able to walk later in life with your kids with a back injury. Sorry about that. All right, who's up next? Question? Anybody? Oh, we got one back there. Yep.
Hey, yeah, it was a ton of fun watching you play last. Just getting back to 2006 in Game 7, you came up right after Cliff Floyd. There's a lot of debate over what Willie Randolph should have done. He should have bunted. You got first and second going out down by 2 runs. And just love to hear from you, just given that you came up right after that.
You're gonna second guess the manager right now. But yes, Met fans were critical of thinking, what should have happened to try and put runners in scoring position, all of that.
Yeah, that's one way that being done by that time, but it's too late now, so
Yeah, and look, so to build on that, how did you feel, obviously Carlos Beltran is up there, and Adam Wainwright with one of the nastiest curveballs that you could have seen, a future Hall of Famer in Adam Wainwright with a great curveball, drops that in there and freezes Carlos. And the whole stadium, 52,000 people, are silent for a moment. And then, you mentioned it before that Mets fans and playing in New York can be the best. It can also be very, very difficult. And how did you and the players feel or react to, I think there was a lot of anger or negativity from fans that Carlos stood up there and took strike 3.
I mean, he don't do because he want to take that. It was nasty pitch. So he want to control that situation. Who as a baseball player, sometimes you strike out. That's part of the game. I know the situation there. That was different because we were close to the World Series, but he don't want to strike out in that situation. He want to control the team, and as a baseball player, stuff like that happens.
Yeah, baseball, and everybody here knows it, you hear it all the time, that baseball is a game of failure. you know, when you're going to the Hall of Fame and you're failing 70% of the time. So that's baseball, but it just was so, yeah, noteworthy.
It's very hard for Carlos, you know, that year, like, I know everybody was talking about that, still, in 2024, and we're still talking about that, he knows that. So, he don't want to start that.
I think that's something I would guess for most of this audience, but I would think for you, I can speak for myself, is happy to see that Carlos is back in a role with the Mets.
Yes, he was very much.
I feel like he's also back where he belongs,
Yes.
in a way. Who's next? Question for Jose.
Hi, Jose. Question, I don't know how much you can say on this. What was it like in the transition with the Willie Randolph to Jerry Manuel and that kind of fiasco that unloaded? What was it like around the team?
It was kind of difficult, because as a player, you want to play for one manager, but when the team will go that way, somebody have to go. Sometimes, because if we play bad, it's not because the manager, because we are the one who be on the field. But in the same time, Jerry Manuel, he was there working for Willie. I get along very good with Jerry, so I don't got no problem by that time.
Yeah, I guess the classic thing, I think with that, whoever asked the question, the challenging thing there in that whole era, of course, was people weren't happy with the way it was also done. You're allowed to fire a manager, but you don't necessarily need to.
Probably the way how it's happening, maybe that was, so they wait for Willie to fly to all the way to Los Angeles
Right.
and say, you fired. Take a plane back.
Right.
5.5 hours. No.
Right. That was the part, and I think that's something as there was a long period of same old Mets or LOL Mets, and it's things like that, making a manager fly across the country only to fire him and fly him back, that fed into that. And I think that with the Mets right now, with the infrastructure, with Stephen Alex Cohen, and the way they've set up the team, it would seem that we've moved out of that era of LOL Mets. And the Mets, the hope is, we'll see what happens with Juan Soto, but the Mets become this destination franchise that is respected around the league. And I think the Mets were respected for a time with, whether that was with Omar Minaya signing Carlos Beltran and Delgado and Ewan David and Cliff Floyd. I mean, those were teams that I think did have respect around the league.
I agree with you.
Next question.
Hi, Jose. You were the most exciting and energizing player I've ever watched. You're my favorite Met
Thank you.
ever. So it was really sad. So what happened to you and to see you go, I was very happy that the Mets brought you back. I remember I was at your last game at Citi Field, and when you hit like a triple, just like your old self, and we got a huge standing ovation. Everyone was cheering and chanting. How did it feel to have the crowd back chanting for you after all your turmoil going from city to city? But the real fans loved you in New York.
Thank you for the love. Yeah, I know, just when I come in and just to listen to you guys still now and sing Jose, so I really appreciate that from you guys, so God bless you all.
Yeah, sometimes when you talk about the challenges of playing in New York and the spotlight and all that, I also do think sometimes that for most of the folks out here who go into work and have jobs, that people don't show up at your place of work and chant, Jose, Jose. So with the downside comes the affection and the love and all of that. So you hope there's balance. Who's next? Somebody have a question there? Yeah.
How you doing, Reyes? My name's Andy. I got a question. When you were younger, were there any veteran ball players that you looked to as a mentor on the team when you were here?
Yes, I'm gonna say Julio Franco when he was there.
Yep,
You know,
Franco?
he was the guy that was Pedro Martinez too.
Sure.
So they give a lot of advice, Beltran, Delgado, so all the guys. So because me and David, we kind of was the younger guy on the team, and you know, so well, they always give us great advice. So that was good.
Yeah, obviously Pedro Martinez, it was towards the end of his career, but what was it like being around a player like that you know is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
You know, like play together with Pedro was kind of like a dream come true as a Dominican baseball player because you know Pedro Martinez and Sosa. Growing up, everybody looked up to those guys. So and yet to share the same field with Pedro Martinez and how unbelievable person that he is, I feel good about it.
Yeah, I remember seeing Pedro sitting in the Mets dugout days when he was not pitching, talking to other pitchers and the lessons, and you could see what a baseball genius he is.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
Yeah.
So when Pedro talks, you listen.
Yeah. That and also for a person his size also seemed to have the world's largest hands. Yeah.
So just a quick follow-up. So as a fan looking at it, did you feel more confident when you had Pedro on the mound? Because you knew that if he had you back, say you got hit, he's coming to defend you. So you probably wouldn't because he was on the mound. Did you feel that extra inspiration or feel galvanized with a guy like Martinez on the mound?
Well, I don't want to say extra inspiration because, like I said, as a baseball player, you got a job to do. It's no matter who's pitching, who's hitting, but when he pitch, I just try to do what I do with whoever pitching, so I just try to get on base, try to score a run, try to hit triple, try, a lot of different stuff to put my team in great position to win.
By the way, did you see last week the commissioner put out there he's considering the golden I wondered what you thought. Imagine the big spot in the game and suddenly they're, it's early in their careers, they're bringing you up to bat or David or somebody else and taking the bat out of somebody else's hands.
It already has been too much change in the baseball. We don't need that. You already change a lot of stuff, no.
There you go. Jose says no.
Hey Jose, you're one of the most energetic, bringing the energy into the team, the players that I've ever witnessed in my life, and we appreciate that. You're not always as celebrated that way with everybody around baseball, and I know that Mets fans here love you, and we know that you're an amazing player, and we will celebrate you forever, But my question is, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want your legacy to be remembered as?
I mean, good question. One of the best Met players who ever put a jersey on it. So, so I feel, I know that I went away for a few years, so it wasn't my fault because I never want to leave New York. I want to stay my whole career for with one thing, and it doesn't happen. But so from my heart, from bottom of my heart, I love you guys. So I never want to leave. So I'm here. So.
An all-time great Met. I remember an all-time great Met.
Thank you, Jose. We know that you're an all-time great Met. You're one of the greatest Mets shortstops to play the game. You're one of the best dressed Mets players. Tell us what you think about our shortstop now, Francisco Lindor, in all three categories.
He's good though, he's good. He got a flow, the good thing about Lindor, he kinda remind me a lot because he play with a smile. He enjoyed the game so much. To see him this year, like the year that he had, he almost won the MVP, He's supposed to win it. Before they say, not the age, win MVP now, was different. So, 2024 something, but Lindor is very good. He's a superstar, though, you know, and he got swag too. So, you know, he's good. Bro. He got good flow. He got good flow.
All right, so superstar with swag, and a smile, and some good flow. All right. Who's up?
Jose, first of all-time favorite Met. I chose number 7 when I played in Little League because of you.
Thank you.
And I can speak for all of us here that we want you inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame. And my question kind of goes along with that golden bat bullshit. When it came to clutch, and I want to go specifically to when you tied the game with a 2-run homer against the Phillies in September of 2016. Everybody remembers that the closer, I think it was Familia, gave up the lead. It was 8-6 Phillies, and then Cabrera, and Struble Cabrera walked off in the ninth. Can you relay kind of like how did you manage to, as a veteran, keep the youngsters motivated when you're in a dire situation? Say you're down like 2 or 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth and you got 2 men on with 2 out. How do you keep those guys motivated?
As a veteran also, this goes back to what we were saying before, that concept of belief. How are you inspiring your teammates in that moment to maintain belief when it looks so, kind of difficult?
You know, just do put the head down, and baseball, everything can happen, you know. So the game is not over, you know, you got the opportunity to win that game. So, because, you know, when you lose it by 2 runs, it means nothing if you do the right stuff in the field. And, you know, I think because of that game, we made that position that year. It gets you up to the next level.
Are we good, everybody?
Let's go quick at the front line.
Anything else? All right, last one that one made me think of is, so your number, I mean, I don't know, there's big number 7s in history, Mickey Mantle, of course, comes to mind or whatever. Sometimes a number is as simple as that's what the clubhouse guy gives you, and that's your number. But was there any significance to that number for you?
Lucky 7, baby. You know, I don't think that I'm ever gonna have that number when I made it to the big league, because by that time, I don't know if you guys remember Jason Phillips, the catcher.
Yeah.
He wasn't number 7. So, you know, and he gave it to me when I came to the big league. You know, that was good for him. Thank you, Jason.
That is nice for him, because back then, I mean, well...
And I wasn't the minor league.
Right,
So he already the big league.
Yeah, so to give it for a prospect as opposed to, usually you hear the story, some superstar comes over and gives somebody a Rolex.
Well, when I come back, Jelton Dorno had number 7, I had to give her a Rolex.
Yeah.
We're gonna give her number 7.
I made up the Rolex thing, but that is, I like what happens, and so that is very generous of him to have done that. All right, generous of Jose Reyes to give us this time. Thank you.
There was a game towards the end of your career. They brought you in and Reyes.
Pitching? Yeah, you know that I said before I retired, I want to pitch 1 inning and I want to play center field. I feel like half an inning we walk in center field. Thanks God they don't hit no ball to me. You know, but I enjoy when I was pitching though.
If memory serves, I don't think it went that well, is that right?
At least, you know, the first goal, because who started that game? Matt? They scored like 7 runs and they scored 6 to me.
Yeah. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Okay,